I like jazz, I like the blues. Put them together for something cool. It's called Jazzissance, like a renaissance. It's Jazzissance. I like the call and response. Welcome to Little Blue. That's what I call my shed in honor of Big Pink. And gotta forgive the air conditioner. It's 112 here today, so I will melt if I don't have it. So behind me you can see my heroes, Groucho Marx and Margaret Dumont. I tell people that's Mom and Dad. Bob the near rhyme stuff he did was phenomenal. Picture of Tosca, the opera. I have a very eclectic musical background. So Jazzissance came about because I didn't want to be categorized in jazz, blues, rock, country, folk, whatever. It's all Americana. It all has its roots in the same places. Celtic music, Celtic roots, African rhythms, African, music, all come together to make all these musical forms. So I called it Jazzissance, which is either rebirth of jazz or, I like to think a jazz knowledge, because jazz kind of permeates all of those. It was the first one that broke out, starting with ragtime. And New Orleans jazz is by far my favorite. I know you didn't tune in here to hear me talk, so I'm going to get to the first track on Jazzissance Too. That's Jazzissance Too, not a typo. And it's called A Jazzissance Primer. And this is set up so that you can understand what Jazzissance is. So here we go. Here we are with, by the way, Jazzissance good for your neurons. And act nonchalant. My nephew, Sam Shinhofen, at Anchored Prints, did these shirts for me, donated them to me. That's how I got most of my stuff recorded. I asked friends and family if they would donate so I can record an album. And so far I've gotten 3 done that way. Big help from my son at Shinhofen Books. Check him out. He's an author. He's a machine. He's got over 50 of them out on Audible. Let's call it Audible. Anyway, let's get back to Jazzissance Too. So we started out with a tempo about 120, and now we're going to go to Say Yes to Life. And on this track we have Nick Schmidt on bass, Andrea D'Angelo on drums. I play the keyboards. Rick Keller plays alto sax and kills it. And on organ, I had Billy Nunn. Billy Nunn passed away this last year. We recorded this in 2022. It was going to be on Jazzissance, but it just wasn't fleshed out yet. And I didn't have enough funds to call back more musicians, so I did have Rick play alto on this, and as soon as he did, this track became what it is. So I see, can't help it, when I listen to this, I see go-go dancers in white boots, But that's just me. Say Yes to Life is for all those people who are depressed, or more aptly, because I know how debilitating it can be. For those people who just won't even try. Nope, don't want to do it. Nope, Say yes to life. And the line, life is what happens when I make another plan, I believe was Marie Saunders. The rest is all me. Hope you enjoy it. It's easy to say no, say yes to life. Grab a piece of the pie. Say yes to life. You can reach the sky. It's easy to say no. 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 Say yes to life. You can reach the sky. Say yes to life. one we're going to come down with Will I Ever Learn, which is just kind of a standard blues. It uses the minor second to resolve to the 5, which gives a little tension for, will I ever learn? I still can't be leaving you alone. I wrestled with myself because just can't be leaving you alone. Just didn't have the guts, didn't have the still is ongoing, and he's ongoing. He just can't leave her alone, even though he plays him. She plays him, for a fool. Had John Wedemeyer on this album. He plays all guitars on this album. What a great guy. Had him play slide guitar on this to differentiate from the other slow blues I'm going to have later on. But here we go. Let's do Will I Ever Learn? You were so sweet when we first met. I was an easy catch. When will I ever learn? I was so high, you brought me low. You poisoned my soul, but I still can't be leaving you alone. You left me weak, you left me drained. You're driving me insane. So now we come to one that I really enjoyed. This is equal parts inspiration and craft. And I had heard a didgeridoo at the beginning, and I wasn't sure what instrument I was going to use, but Rick told me he played flute. Now that flute would be great in the beginning and have a flute solo, I'm thinking jazzy, and I'm thinking kind of Jethro Tull, because it turns more of a rock ballad maybe, but it's got some nice stuff in it. John Wedemeyer plays a David Gilmour style lead. When I first met him, we talked for a few minutes. I knew he knew where I was, and he understood what I wanted. So when I said, give me a David Gilmour lead, boom, he was there. Vinnie Castaldo helped with, let's add this, put that. There's an organ sound in there. And I play that, and I play the Rhodes underneath. But again, this rhythm section, Nick Schmidt and Andrea D'Angelo, and Wedemeyer played a rhythm lead in here, a rhythm part too. But this is probably one of my favorite tracks. I hope you enjoy it. It's a song of longing or trying to find his way. I had to walk my horse, I couldn't ride no more. That's how I wound up in El Salvador. The road was rocky, mountain steep, and I just wanted to get some sleep. Oh well, I was sleeping rough in the month of June, looking up at that crescent moon. The undertaker said, I'll see you soon. In my cemetery I got some room for you. But I ain't dead yet. And the people keep on talking. If I keep on moving, I never get caught. At least that's what my daddy taught. He said, son, don't worry, I know your fate. I'll see you at those pearly gates, I will. I ain't dead yet, I'm still walking. And the people keep on talking. Like the crescent moon, I'm fading fast. I hear the voices of my past bleed through.
Where'd you go?
Now, while we're down in that longing thing, I'd bring in One of These Days. This song could have been an organ lead with a choir and give it a churchy sound. Could have been a blues guitar. But I really initially thought tenor sax, give it that growly, and again, Rick Keller does not disappoint. One of these days. It's really a song of longing. It's personal to me. I don't know why. I don't know why I write so many longing songs, because my life is blessed. I mean, I got to be a father and a husband and a grandfather, and those were the things that I thought were most important. And now I'm getting to write and record my music, and I would not have traded a minute of that for, success in the music field. For me, it's a success if somebody says, "Hey, I really like that song." And I think you're really gonna like this one. Let's see. One of these days I got to go back. One of these days I got to go back home. One of these days, Lord, back home where I'm needed. Jesus is leading me back home. Simplicity, just the keyboard, the bass, the drum, the tenor sax. Again, I go back to that a lot. My junior high music teacher, who influenced me a lot, introduced me to the Marx Brothers and other things. He always said the school he went to had a big sign that said KISS, which meant keep it simple, stupid. So, when you start to overproduce something, sometimes you need to come back to just the basics, and that's what one of these days. So I think we were low, and now we're going to come back with some hope, which is today is enough for me. I dedicated this to my sister Josie and her new husband Dale. I love these two guys. They've known each other 50 years, and now they're getting married. It's a love story for the aged. I love them both. I wish them the best, and I hope they can dance to this at their wedding. My daughter sings with me on this as duet. I call her Lady B, but her name is Barbara Wisneski. And again, sax, keyboard, and add some strings, bass and drums. Couldn't have done this without Nick and Andrea, I'm telling you. They really hold all of it together. So I hope you enjoy this. This is personal to me. I fell and hit my head a number of years ago, and since then I find that I'm not as sharp as I was. And I realize that every day is a gift. Let's don't promise me forever. Just let's enjoy the day. Never say never, or promise me forever. Today is enough for me.
When we're alone, your heart is my home. You're all that I can see.
Living in your love is a gift from God above. Don't ever say never, or promise me forever. Today is enough for me. In your eyes I see reflections of eternity. While we're here with Lady B, I went ahead and put Dream after Today Is Enough. I kept trying to separate the songs that she sang on, and tracks just didn't flow. I think this flows, and I would call this the end of the first side if there was an LP and you flipped it over, because I think in those terms. Those are years I grew up in. At any rate, this song, Dream, I wrote in 2004 when I was a foreman in a casino. The idea came to me. I made some notes on the back of some players' cards and then worked it out over a few weeks. But it's always should have had this Latin kind of feel. Rick Keller adds this flute thing at the beginning and the end. It's great. He plays alto, and Barbie, Lady B, sings the lead. So this should I think the first side ends in a happy note.
I could dream of holding you in my arms, dream of getting lost in your charms, but I could never dream of leaving you, never dream of hurting you, only wanna wake with you in my arms. I could dream of holding you in my arms, dream of getting lost in your charms, but I could never dream of leaving you, never dream of hurting you, only wanna wake with you in my arms. When I go to sleep at night, I pray.
That's the end of the A side of the album. You can see it stops with Dream and we start the B side. And I'll make a primer for that too if I get at least 10 people to watch the video. That lets me know somebody wants to see what's going on. Thanks to Rick Keller sax and flute, Andrea D'Angelo drums, Nick Schmidt bass, John Wedemeyer guitars, and of course Vinnie Castaldo, the owner and engineer par excellence there in the Tone Factory, Las Vegas. Check it out on wherever you stream music.